Hello and welcome back. Today we are continuing our run as the Roman Republic. Last episode we restored the Republic of Rome, finally becoming a republic again, and we are continuing to try and, as our general kind of overarching goal, acquire all the Mediterranean coast for a nice little Mare Nostrum, which is Latin for our sea. It will be ours, we will be the only one with a coast on it. And so to that end, we've actually made a lot of progress, just kind of reviewing it. We have to go after, now it's kind of getting to the point where we have to go after big boys though. We are reducing autonomy in Israel right now. Egypt is a subject, and so we just need to reduce autonomy in them, but we are going to have to go after Occitania, Spain, Portugal, Austria to some extent, and the Ottoman Empire. And this is kind of that which remains. And then we might even go after the Black Sea as well, which would be a little bit more difficult, but I think well within our possibilities here. We are kind of popping off a little bit on the world stage because we just got both monitors and ironclads last episode. And so very soon here we will have, every place diplomatically declared, which unlocks kind of a lot of our ability to start messing around in world affairs, which is what we're kind of emerging on, and we might end up going for South Africa this episode after, not going for it for a long time, which is very much meta to just go for this as quickly as possible. We also might subjugate, because just taking Transvaal will feel bad, because they have a big section of Northern Cape, and so we could do something like conquer Gaza, subjugate Transvaal, and then get them, 20 years down the line or so, which, to be fair, gold is really valuable, so it's probably better just to conquer, but this is going to be an option. We'll see what happens. Well, this is quite fortunate. We do get this positivist church event, and we have been having difficulties getting off of, being state religion, because our religious folk do not oppose a state religion, and so our intelligentsia rather, and so this is going to be helpful for us. We will get education access qualifications and radicals, and we will increase the positivist influence, but this is going to allow us, the positivist agitator specifically, will help us to get out from underneath it, because they support state atheism, and so this is perhaps going to be something we will be able to do in the near future. We're currently not enacting a law, and we have okay, so he's agitating for state atheism, but we can promote him to government sometime down the line. Although the petite bourgeoisie is not very powerful, it'd probably be better for us to promote this guy to grant leadership in 35 months and use him to go after it. And he is the nihilist boyo, and so we're still on that grind. But we see here a little bit of a concerning one, which is that North German Fed is going after French Commune for unify with Alsace-Lorraine and Hamburg. We actually control Hamburg in that it is one of our subjects. We would rather not this happen, but this is also pretty minor. But at the same time, I don't know. If we can get a sort of useful sway, we would love to help out the French Commune, or maybe help out the North German Federation if we can get more than having them as a subject, but we might help them out for free, depending on how things look like they're unfolding. We will definitely wait to see who dogpiles. Like, if a bunch of people just side with the North German Federation, we'll just say, it's a fine, we didn't really like the Hamburg anyway. So it looks like there might actually be nothing to be done here, which is kind of a little bit annoying, because Hamburg, we can't side actually with the French Commune because they're our rivals. We have two negative relations, and we can't do anything to protect Hamburg, and there's nothing to be done. We can side with North Germany and just ask for war goals, or side for obligations, which I think we're kind of inclined to do, but there's nothing we can do to actually save Hamburg from this fate, and I'm pretty sure that the North Germany is going to roll over them. So I guess we say goodbye to that vassal, but that's kind of okay. That's one we acquired when we were really kind of grasping at straws for places to expand, that were reasonable, that were part of Roman territory, because this was owned by Rome, and so it's a little bit of strangeness, but yeah, I think that we can't really do anything about it, and maybe we just get the obligation and then toot it and boot it. Now, the thing is if we do this, we will probably get a return CB on Savoy, so we'll actually have to fight the war. So this might not be worth our time. Depends on what infamy level we're at. We're at a pretty high infamy level. I guess we could do this, but maybe it's not worth it. We'll have to think. Yeah, we just, wished Hamburg good luck. We sided with North Germany, and then we just immediately capitulated as soon as the war started, so we just got a free obligation. Ooh, what is this? Oh, maybe... Huh. That's interesting. Okay, so maybe us joining in that war actually took Hamburg out of being on the same side as the French Commune, because they couldn't be sided against their overlord? That's a bit of an interesting one. I haven't seen that type of thing before, but I guess we maybe saved Hamburg from their fate. The spirit of Crassus lives on in our hearts, so we will be going commercialized agriculture here, which will, be kind of good for our overall clout profile in-game, because we would prefer to maybe disempower... Actually, maybe it's not better for the... I believe it's better for getting the trade unionists up, but I'm not 100% sure. They've recently reworked some of this stuff. But in any case, it's more themey, so we will be going commercialized agriculture instead of homesteading. So we're very not used to playing with the fully controlled queue, and I think we're actually missing here. And by missing, I mean we're playing improperly, because we have some really big trade routes, and they're also really productive, which indicates that if we had more convoys, which we don't have more convoys, because you can't have more than exactly what you have, because that's how, greater than works. But if we had more convoys, we would be able to support larger routes. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to make a little bit of a turn here, and we're going to go for a lot more ports. And not only are we going to go for a lot more ports here, once we research vulcanization, which is kind of what we're making a go for now, because we do have access to rubber, I think we come back and we do gantry cranes. And then overall, this in its totality will give us a lot more convoys. But we're going to go to max level in the capital here, and then we're going to look where we don't have a lot of infra, and we also have peasants. Well, we'll build where we have negative infra here, but then we're looking for places where we have a lot of peasants, because we want to give them jobs, and we are sorting by low infra, and so we're going to find places that do not have a lot of infra, that have a lot of peasants here, is our primary concern. Anything over, 30k or so, we'll just add a smattering if you will, and then this will help us to both stave off need for infrastructure, as well as give us a whole ton of convoys to allow these trade routes to increase in size, because one thing that we're doing is we are way over specializing, partly because microing and figuring out exactly everything to build is a little bit rough, but if we had more convoys, we could export more of stuff like tools, we can already export more. And we could also export more of stuff like ores, which is what we are primarily trying to build. We have all of these on auto expand because we have all the ore companies in. And so this will help us, and then it'll also allow us to decrease the price of all of these, agrarian goods, like stuff like this. We can bring the prices down by importing them, because we're currently not building any agrarian stuff. But maybe there's a future in Rome, where there's commercial business for the foundation of a great company of some sort. Okay, this is pretty funny here. The French Commune, if I'm not mistaken, their capital's here in Rhone. They're currently fighting the North German Fed. The North German Fed cannot get to them, and not only that, the North German Fed's war goal of Alsace-Lorraine completely bricked by this revolution, because that's how the mechanics work. And so we do see a complete bricking of the French Commune by this rev, and a bricking of the war. That must be really annoying. And also, we might fiddle around in this business because we might be able to get something decent now, or just kidding, we have a truce, so we can't do anything to do anything about that war, but that's fine. We're also coming in on the Middle East a little bit. We subjugated the Trucial states. We're subjugating Bahrain right now. We're going to go after Nejd. We're going to try and maybe pull Iraq into the customs union and siphon off some migrants, and then maybe go after them. Iraq notably was part of what would be the Roman territory at its height, but Nejd and the Trucial states and Bahrain are not, but they have all that tasty oil, and so we're kind of ahead of time getting those in place while we have a ton of infamy. We're also waiting for an opportunity, because Spain is in the British market. I don't think we exactly have the size navy we would want to maybe go toe-to-toe with Spain, but I think we could probably take Spain here. And so what we're waiting for is an opportunity where they have power projection of 3,500, we have power projection of 7,200. Okay, I guess we could probably clap them. But we're waiting for Mummy to get involved in some sort of domestic dispute with someone else, where she is, giving them the business. And so when that happens, when Mummy is disciplining some of her children, then we will just join on the same side of a play as her, and then we will be able to go after Spain without any sort of recourse from them. And also, I mean, like, who else is going to get involved here? Austria, like Germany. I think we can handle most of them, but the UK is kind of the only really scary one. If you look at the GDP chart, it's a little easy to see why. I guess the North German Fed is actually a little spooky now that we take a closer look at that. Just for the sake of posterity, I think this is before we've completed any of the additional convoys we've started. We are currently at exactly 10k convoys, which is really easy to remember. We'll see how this increases. So the Ottoman Empire decided that they wanted some of this heat, and they, ooh, what's this? Oh man, did they instantly start another Diplo play? What is going on? So the French Empire is now back from the ashes. Oh, were they the... What the hell happened? So very confused here. So apparently they got full occupied. So what happened is the French commune got full occupied and then swapped to being an empire and then is now continuing the war that they weren't even a part of to begin with, or what's going on here. We're not really sure. Oh no, France is coming for us. We'll just do appeasement is the better approach. We would like to have a good relation with the French Empire, but if we can't, that is what it is. But the Ottomans decided they wanted some heat here while we were going for Nejd. It's very nice that we can come through here. Shout out to the Suez Canal. But we will just be landing Nejd, and then we'll be dealing with the Ottomans. We are going to be liberating Bosnia, son. And in doing that, we will be just a little bit closer to getting the Ottomans to the point where we can eventually subjugate them. Our main problem is that they have to decay their prestige under this level, but as we annex more countries, it will get easier and easier because of the way that the prestige requirement is calculated, and so we are expecting at some point to be able to, you know, go after them, but at this point, it might be an 100% high infamy type of run, so we'll see how that goes. And we get commercialized agriculture, which is absolutely fantastic. And before we continue, I'd just like to do a little bit of a word from our sponsor.
This month's public bread is provided by the Caroline Brotherhood of Millers. The Brotherhood uses only the finest flour, true Roman bread for true Romans.
That's right. Now that we have commercialized agriculture, we can found the Brotherhood of Millers. So let's come in. Let's come in right here, and let's let them expand out. You know, this will be the Brotherhood of Millers. Hopefully it'll grow. Can't subsidize it. Not ideal. Well, maybe we'll found a little bit of more Brotherhood over here. Yeah, okay. So we'll make the Brotherhood of Millers somewhere else. We will establish the Brotherhood of Millers. Where do we have a lot of arable land? Let's take a look. The Brotherhood of Millers. We, of course, need it to be Roman bread. True Roman bread for true Romans, obviously. And so let's see where we have perhaps the most potentials. We have a bunch in Piedmont, which is, well, we definitely put it on auto-expand in Lazio. It's not going to auto-expand there, though. There's not enough business opportunities. But perhaps in Campania, let's take a look there, if we can establish that. And you know what? This is already one of our bigger wheat farms. So let's put this on auto-expand, you know, and that way we can get the true grain for the true Romans here. So we finally managed to successfully invite Portugal to the customs union. Currently they're in the Austrian market. Before they switch over, we're going to take a look at the capital here, where they are getting plus 29k in migration, and we are hoping that this flips around and goes negative after they accept, you know, entry into the customs union. It's not going negative. Okay, where are they receiving? Okay, they're the target of a mass migration, so from Serbia. So that's perhaps not going to be appropriate for evaluating this type of thing. But it does look like they have much less migration attraction than we do, and so we should be able to, over time, siphon off some migrants from them, which will be great for us. It looks like Austria has been pulling a few sneakies, being out and about. They're going for, like, for example, Tidorian West stuff, and they also went for this, which is kind of our usual suspect thing. I don't think we're going to side in against them. I think that what we are going to do here is we are going to side with the UK against Bali, not for any really specific reason. We're just going to take a quick look at their defensive pact matrix. So this is an unfortunate thing. So we would have to lose Portugal out of the customs union. unless we can get somehow on the same side of a play as Portugal if we want to break up Spain. So maybe we hold off for now and just kind of be in a little bit of more of a chilly mode than going for the breakup of Spain. The thing is we have to break up Spain, but because we can't swallow them whole, they're too big. They're not going to decay. We're not going to get this 466 under 288. Unlike the Ottomans, who it's looking a little chilly on their side of things, and they could very well be pulled under. But I think Spain's going to be a little bit tough. So we do need to release Catalonia plus Andalusia was the plan, but don't really want to lose Portugal just right after getting them. So. The poor brotherhood of millers suffering from inefficient agriculture in Lazio, where they are based. Tragic that businesses should be so undermined. We should listen to their advice and get some more migration attraction. On top of that, Austria sided against us when we're reducing autonomy on Egypt, even though this is going on. So, not sure what that's about, but we're at the very least going to try and liberate Slovenia. Depending on how things are developing with this war, as well as other things, we might put in a couple other libs. The really big ones is we want to liberate Croatia as well, and this will completely cut off Austria from the coast. And then, shout out to Romania, we might liberate Romania. If we liberate Hungary, we will not be able to, well, actually, maybe we won't liberate Romania, and instead go for war reps. But if we liberate Hungary, we will not be able to access and liberate Romania, or we will not be able to push in this way really anymore. But maybe we'll have to have a little bit of a think here. But they seem really unprepared for this type of heat, considering they are fighting Prussia right now, and so this is going to, I think, backfire for them, and also gain us, full access to at least this portion of the Austria coastline. Also, their overseas naughtiness should basically be eliminated once all this, goes through, which we are more than happy for that to come to an end. So we get ourselves a little bit of a socialist reform, sweeping across, etc., etc. We can choose wage subsidies. I don't think we want to choose that. Regulatory bodies, and we will not capitulate, which they are more likely to select these things. I think we are going to, and this one's maybe not so RP, I think we're going to go with regulatory bodies, mainly because we don't want to get a bunch of vanguardist and anarchist leaders and have them, usurp kind of the utopia that we've been building, and so we're just going to go for regulatory bodies. Also, we like this law, so also that. We have recruited up, we have established the 5th Legion, which is just going to be a defensive squad. Just wanted to quickly note the 3 different types of units we're primarily using. We're using these purple guys as our big pushing armies that are primarily just to actually push. You can't borrow troops on offense, it seems to be the case, and so you want your pushing armies to be really big. We have these landing armies, which are going to be the red cavalry looking ones, which are half cav, half infantry, and then we have these defensive armies that are just supposed to try and hold choke points until help can arrive, or we can execute landings and outmaneuver, this type of thing. We're conscripting up in a bunch of places. We were irresponsible and we did not check all of our PMs before we did the things, and so we have to check our PMs. But no, we can't do elastics. But I forget exactly where in the UI you check. Alright, here. So we do have to, swap up all these PMs, but we won't do that on camera. But I think that this is going to be pretty interesting war. We decided to put in for liberating Slavonia, Romania, and Croatia here. So if we can enforce this, which I'm not sure if we can, then that'll be really good for us. We're almost certainly enforcing, reducing Egypt's autonomy, though. So in any case, we will get all of our infamy-oriented war goals pretty easily. Well, this is a fun UI thing. We're just getting spammed. Formation cannot reach HQ. It is the 2nd Legion, and so the Legion in Greece, and so I think what we're going to do is we are going to disband it because they have been banished to the Shadow Realm. There is no way out. Or maybe... No, there is no way out. They can't be assigned anywhere. They can be assigned to a front? So weird. What the hell? Oh, and now they can get... Okay, well... We have them in reserve for landing. We also have this defensive army, which is kind of our National Guard army, which we've designated in yellow. Unfortunately, we full occupied Egypt, and that's unfortunate because there is not, I don't think, a war goal on us from Austria, and since there's not a war goal from Austria on us, we can be enforced below 0 in the event that Egypt capitulates, so we actually kind of wanted to slow bleed Egypt more so than actually enforce on them, and it looks like Austria has capitulated, I assume, to the North German Fed War, and so this is going to be a little bit of a grind fest in here. We're trying to land, but we are just going to get so gummed up by fleets because we have to fight each of these fleets individually, and we have 2 navies here. One of them is the landing navy, and the landing navy actually is not going to be able to take out, you know, this 30-stack navy of theirs, which is a bit awkward, so we just have to hope that we roll correctly, and then can maybe get in here. But we do have plus 70, and we're not decaying down in the exhaustion very quickly, and so, sure. We're not decaying down in the exhaustion very quickly, so I'm thinking we can maybe get this done, but it's always really, really, really hard to push Austria specifically. Yeah, the lack of borrowing on offense is kind of a little bit crushing in regards to these units specifically, these landing units. They're not very useful. We have them on the fronts, but we've swapped them now to all defend. We might even move them. Why is this a 0%? Bro, did you just unassign yourself for no reason? Bro, he did just unassign himself for no reason. We definitely want to keep on this front in hopes that they, you know, pull more guys over here, but we're now just kind of rolling dice here to see if we can get our pushing armies. Now we just have the 2 pushing armies, this stack and this stack, and we designated the strategic objective of the capital, and so we're just hoping we can roll some good battles before we decay out here, and maybe we can. We are winning the battles, but the problem is we're not. Oh, maybe we need another one of these guys on offense. It just, it hurts so bad, because, like, if they just run into, they can just run into, like, really fat stacks while half the units are engaged, and, like, we can't borrow from the other people on this front while on offense. Okay, so we get a battle, and, like, this is what I'm talking about, the 96 into, like, 120. I mean, do we win this? I guess maybe we win this. Maybe we wood chippered them down hard enough. Us and the North German Fed before us. And so maybe we just get this in. It's looking like we win this. But the question is do we get it fast enough to actually enforce on here? That is the question. Let's see, we get up. So we went from 39% to 64. It's a little touch and go here. Yeah, man, I really hate this enforce below 0 business, like, where they just get stopped at 0 and they're unwilling to, like, accept any sort of thing, even though they're getting rolled, and we get enforced below 0 because they don't have a war goal on us. It just seems all very, very silly. Brittany calls in an obligation, which is fine, but I think that we get through here just at the last second, and we get 1 tick on them, so we might be able to release some of this stuff, but not all this stuff. Like, this should finish it off, but we just need so many battles. But we do get a tick on them, so now they're willing to give us nothing. Wow, that's so dumb. Because they know that it's just, like, over. It's not over until you say it's over. Like, bro, they're just so silly. Like, we obviously win this war. This is very frustrating. Ugh. I'm not sure how, considering they weren't at war, but North Germany, or if there was a war, we missed it, and we should have been called in, but North Germany somehow annexed Hamburg, so we no longer have them as a subject. It's whatever, I guess. We also have enough interests to declare interest on the entire world, so now the world is now our oyster, as it were. We did expand out the Navy kind of a little bit, up to, let's see, we have 80 ships. We're probably going to expand it a little bit more, especially our, like, primary fleet here. We'll look to recruit up maybe to about 100, a bit of a 100 stack. We'll probably move this guy to a different thing. We also finished, we're going for malaria prevention right now, and we have most of the research that we need to get it already done. If we take a look at the cost, we are actually over the amount that it needs to be done. And so I think what we're going to do now is we are going to swap to investment banks and let some of this NAT spread out, and then we will come back to malaria prevention and finish it pretty far ahead of time, but we'll just be slightly more efficient by going investment banks first. And this is a tech that we want quite a bit, and so we'll probably do investment banks into finishing up pan-nationalism, however far that is, into malaria prevention, and I think that'll be pretty good. Pretty frustrated with the Austria thing, because I mean, I think I think the can't tick below 0 mechanic is just really silly and stupid, and obviously that's what burned us there. And to be fair, you get to abuse the AI a ton as a result of it too, winning wars you have no business winning just because they can't be ticked below 0. But we're hoping, at the very least, that the significant amount of turmoil and devastation that we applied there maybe allows them to rev up, and if they rev up, maybe we can diplomatically incorporate them. And something like this, maybe this is something, I don't know, I'm frustrated at the gate mechanics for this, because I would just as soon us not benefit from the ticking below 0 and the AI not be able to benefit, because it's just, it's a silliness. We're also expanding institutions. We're getting pretty institutional here, expanding them all up pretty close to max now that we got elected bureaucrats. And unfortunately, our nihilist agitator died, and so we're not in a position where we can promote him to government and then have him go after the church. Maybe this guy can go after it. I mean, these guys support total separation, so we could go for total separation with them specifically, but I think the problem is that we're not very legitimate if we have that form of government. If we have, like, one of these, the communists somehow, for whatever reason, just don't seem to get along with the protectionists, which is wild. But I think we'll just, put this in. We'll decrease taxes a couple notches. We already decreased it 1 notch. We're deficit spending at a little bit of a spooky rate. I think we can build into this, but to be fair, our notion of what we can build into is calibrated or like balanced based on of having a private queue, which I actually think is a little bit more efficient than our hand, considering we're going speed 5 and we're trying to play somewhat quick. I think if we were super meticulous about everything, we could definitely do better, but them, taking a look and seeing something's really expensive and then going after it, I think is going to be a situation where the AI does help the player. The player can guide kind of the main choice with their construction queue and is still critically important, but the AI gets to, like, fill in the gaps. But anyways, I think we will go for the total separation now, which might spark a rev. It might not. I'm pretty sure it sparks a rev here. Yeah, they want to restore monarchy. Bro, that's such a big rev. What the hell? I don't know if we could pass into that, actually. That's so big. That's like everything. It's gonna be so uncomfortable, and we're already in, like, Mongo trouble. In regards to... Maybe we pass cultural exclusion, because we have a ton of people agitating for that right now. And then this will be smaller. I think maybe we do that. I mean, I think that we could win this revolution. It's just going to be super uncomfortable for a while. I'm not sure I want to be that uncomfortable. So regarding our convoy situation, which I did want to give an update for, we had 10k before we built out a whole bunch. Now we have 23k off the back of having a bunch more ports than we had before. And also getting onto the tech that allows for better ports as well, the industrial ports. So let's just zoom in real quick. We are on the industrial ports now in all of our areas, and so this is going to help out a lot because it's going to give quite a few more convoys than before. 1050 convoys versus 1250, so about 20% more. You used to give a much bigger difference, but you can see that some of our convoys have gotten very big. And we probably want to start expanding out the coal more ourselves. We actually have quite a bit of coal in, but you can see here, these are absolutely massive trade routes, which is not kind of what we normally see with private construction. Although this is a signal to us that we should be, we're arbitraging here. That's funny. We're importing coal here, and then we're exporting it there. Which is quite amusing. I'm not sure we want to be on importing coal as much. I know that as you enter the hyper late game, importing all of the resources is good, but this is something that's a little bit interesting and novel for this playthrough that we're getting with these trade routes that are much more reminiscent of like 1.2 before the private queue was introduced. Or was it in 1.1? I can't remember. Well, it looks like the strain of that war is just going to end up breaking Austria anyways. They have this huge revolt. And the revolt, we would notably be able to declare war on again. We get Egypt siding with Austria there. kind of classic, but I think the revolt is a little bit too big. Maybe if someone else sides with Austria, they end up winning this against the revolt. We backed down from what we were doing, though, and decided that, we weren't going to provoke such a big revolt, even though we probably win that. Instead, we were going for cultural exclusion, which we had a pretty big movement for, and then we re-increased taxes and looking to kind of bring down this line of credit a little bit. Also annexing Bulgaria right now, which is going to be done very, very shortly. And the struggle for supremacy over the Mediterranean continues as we get one more province, or two provinces, or three provinces that are, adjacent to the Mediterranean. Although this is the Black Sea, so maybe that doesn't count as much. We also have a defensive pact with Albania we will have to break at some point if we want to go for them. But right now we wanted to pull them into our customs union. And speaking of, our customs union's going quite large. You know what they say, the Brotherhood of Millers brings all the boys to the yard because they want grain, and it's better than yours because it's true Roman grain for true Romans. And so I think we're going to leave off on that episode where we have just massively grown the market, not just in terms of, economic, or like geographically we got it a lot bigger from going after Arabia. Also, we sniped Persia in here, but also we got Netherlands in here. We got, I think Portugal was this episode in here, and so we are able to siphon off a lot of migrants, kind of coming on in. So a good example might be Piedmont, which is going to be pulling in a ton of migrants right here. You can see the 12K. If we hover this, Lazio, despite us, using greener grass in Lazio, it's not as good as we'd like because there's quite a bit of turmoil here. This is one of the reasons we're going for cultural exclusion. In fact, we can take another tick of there. Okay. The main reason we're going for it is so that we can get rid of, some of our radicalism here, and hope that we can maybe circle back to getting rid of the religious folks, because we definitely want to be rid of them. We just don't have interest groups that are really powerful and want to oppose them. What we would really like is we would like a positivist industrialist. That way we could pass the law really quick and get underneath the religious folk before they could do anything. But we can't invite any agitators because we have too many agitators. I suppose we could use our exile here, but that would break our ability to get a humanitarian, but maybe that's okay. Given the current overall situation. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this mass market episode and the capitalism of, the Romans and their, prodigious capitalism, etc. Mostly etc. Anyways, have a good one, you guys. Take care.